Sanjay Datta, thanks so much for joining us. We just wanted to get a perspective on the aviation industry and how badly it's hit. The presumption is that the aviation industry, in this circumstance especially, is probably the first that will get hit. And even once a lockdown is either graded or removed, will take time or probably be one of the last industries to recover. Give us an overall picture of what the situation is.
Amitabh, thanks for calling me on this little chat which we are having regarding the aviation and tourism industry. Um, as you rightly said, aviation was the first one to be getting affected. If I go back in January, uh, India was one of the first countries where the flights coming in from China were given a mandate that they were not allowed. As a matter of fact, it was not specific to one city, but China as whole. So that basically started the I would say the crisis which aviation was facing as it is. Thereafter, one thing led to another, and eventually everybody decided that it has to be a complete lockdown in case we have to save ourselves from this crisis. So it started happening from the 21st of March onwards. Till now, there is no hope of any airline coming back. We were hoping against hope that 14th of March, 14th of April will be last day, but it is not going to be so because most of the states have announced it so. As far as I have been talking to my friends and my colleagues in aviation industry, most of them have told me nothing before 1st of July. So you can take it nothing before 1st of July as far as the international travel is concerned. And to tell you frankly, even if it is 1st of July, I don't see the 1st of July is provided the crisis is over in the next 15, 20 days or maximum a month. But if it carries on, like today morning report says that it's back in China and Korea are again showing some signs. If that happens, then as it is, we Indians were always God-fearing people. So it all depends on God Almighty as to when we will see when we'll see this large birds in the fly. As of now, we are only seeing the real birds fly in the sky for that matter.
Right. I know it's very difficult at this moment or any moment to give an estimate of what the overall impact is. There are various estimates that are out there. There's a study I saw from KPMG, which was also looking at last year's figures in travel and tourism, which were, if I'm correct, about $22 billion, and they were projecting it at down about 25% with a possible 50 million job loss. What again from your experience and talking to people and interacting with people, how bad is the impact both for Indian and global aviation?
Uh, Impact cannot be worse. All the aircrafts are grounded. So this is. Um, as a matter of fact, I'll just give you one story. There was my friend, my very close friend in Toronto. His parents were here in India. They are Indians basically settled in Toronto, and they were to travel back, but they could not travel back. Then suddenly, the Canadian High Commission started a charter flight. They were put on the charter flight, and since there is no mode of transport available right now for anybody to reach the airport, and they being old, 80 plus, both husband and wife, I volunteered to go and drop them to the airport. I have never seen the Delhi airport, except for one. Not even at that time, because when GMR took us for a kind of a fam trip when this airport had to be opened in 2011 during the Commonwealth Games. I had seen the airport, but it was still very full and it was very bustling because there was a lot of work which was going on still there. But this was the first time when I saw Delhi Airport, Indira Gandhi International Terminal 3, absolutely empty. And I'm not joking, Amitabh here. On the way back from airport, which was almost about 11:30 at night, I was the only sole car driving back all the way from airport to Greater Kailash. And at certain stretches, I was feeling scared. Scared, not because of anything else, but what are we into? As a matter of fact, I've never seen Delhi roads so empty. I've gone through curfews during Indira Gandhi assassination time. I've gone through curfews otherwise, emergency time. But this kind of thing, first time in my life, and I hope it doesn't happen again. So coming to your question of quantifying the losses by the airline, I had read a very interesting article in one of the newspapers. It says revive. No, it says uh, revival, survival, and something of that sort. But I would put it in a manner where survival is supreme right now. Why I say supreme? Because airlines make money only when they fly. If they're grounded, obviously they're not making money. But at the same time, yes, the fuel cost is not they are incurring. But there are certain airlines which have to keep these aircrafts in ship shape only where tomorrow, if they have to fly tomorrow, day after, whenever the time comes, they have to be really kind of battle ready to come
Yep.
back into the sky and come back with a bang. Human perseverance it has been there. Time and again has been improved. I don't see I don't see that they will just vanish from the skies, but I'm sure there will be much fewer airlines going forward than they were right now. Um, I would not like to name anybody because they just might take me to courts on that. But survival for many airlines post this crisis would be a big question mark unless they are supported by the state or the governments for that matter.
When you're talking about survival in this mode, which is non-flying, they're not flying, but like you're saying, the aircraft have to be maintained. They have to be ready to fly at a moment's notice whenever that happens. How is that being dealt with?
Uh, I got one the airline send me a video today morning. WhatsApp is a big newsmaker these days, so they're like 100% of their fleet is grounded, but they still have about 250 to 300 engineers working just to keep those aircraft in shape. They have removed the seat, like they have changed the upholstery of almost about 10 to 12,000 seats as of today. In the process of changing even more, the batteries have to be disconnected so that they are properly charged and ready to go when the going gets going good. The engineers have to make sure that the air conditioners are running, the engines are running. Uh, if it is, if like especially countries in India or Middle East and where places are like this, they have to cover the engines so that the engines don't gather dust unnecessarily because dust factor is a major factor here and in this part of the world, though not in the western part. So all these kind of things, it's is keeping people on their toes, as a matter of fact. More so now because now they have to do it even more. Uh, I would say more than 100% they have to put in there because they have to ensure that everything is in ship shape till the time the crisis doesn't get over or these aircrafts don't fly again. Because and how many of them will fly again is again a question mark. Now, another point I want to bring you here is so many airlines have invested in 380s. 380s were basically invested in because they wanted more number of people to be carrying forward. As far as Indian rules and regulations concerned, DGC has completely put the perspective in place where they say that one seat uh, in a row of three will have to be kept empty. I don't know what will do with business class seats because business class are two together or even one each. So I don't know what the regulation will be there, but that means you're cutting out the capacity by almost 30%. So if you're
Does that
cutting
also mean you have to increase the prices by a similar amount?
I think in times to come, the price will increase. Initially, they will not, in my opinion, because initially they'll
Even
be
if
looking for
there's
the,
this social distancing, like you're saying in a normal,
yeah,
you have
because
to sit every third seat.
initially airlines will be looking for business, so they cannot afford to go on a price factor higher where they tell people not to fly because people now have another way of doing business, which is um, Zoom and Skypes and all of these social networking sites.
The interview that we are conducting, we would have probably have come with a camera, but
Exactly.
now
It
we are
would,
doing
it would
it
have
on.
been one-to-one in camera, but then what we are doing is we're doing over Skype. So that's the call of the day. And once you learn certain other practices
Yeah.
which are financially not a burden on you, you know, and any for that matter, any organization which has to send its top management, they will not fly less than business class or first class. So that's cost to you. But at the same cost, if you can have 20 people attend that meeting, or even more for that matter, Zoom will not cost you as much
Yeah.
as a business has to get to US and back will cost you. So once they have learned these, I don't see airlines raising that cost. So they are in a catch-22 situation. They will only fly if they are making money, but they will make money only if they raise the prices. So somewhere down the line, it has to balance out how much to charge and when to charge. As it is, we had seen times when you book in advance and you pay less, you book closer to the date, you pay more.
Yeah.
So those things will still carry on, but I don't know for how long, because definitely travel in you don't know the date. Time and again, I'm telling you that we don't know the date when this crisis will be over,
Yep.
because it's coming all over again. But in times to come, the travel will go down, in my opinion, by if not less, at least about 50 to 60%.
Wow.
At least for a year and a half. Um, Human memory is short. The risk-taking capacity of Indians is much more than anywhere across the world, for that matter. So Indians want to take that. Indian has always been, they have never been shy of taking risks, be it crossing the road, or be it traveling, or be it anything else. And I think sooner the vaccine comes out, it's better for everybody, because and tourism is something which I believe, not that I'm in the industry, but tourism and aviation is something which is a catalyst for any economy to grow.
Yeah.
Without tourism and without aviation, no economy can grow the way they want to grow.
So, in terms of the situation currently with airlines not flying except for special flights, cargo maybe, and going forward, in whether it's graded, whether it's suddenly opened up, we still don't know, as you're pointing out. What is the government doing, Sanjay Datta, and what should be the government doing in terms of whether it's the big loans that airlines owe to various lenders, the banks, interest rates, whether it's your fixed costs which are there, or whether it's the salaries which have to be paid anyway, unless you're laying off people?
Uh, Amitabh, thanks for the question. I would say the airlines which are being supported by the state, or the governments, like Air India has been supported all these years. In spite of their great losses, they are still flying, and they are doing a good job of getting the Indians back to the country. So at some point of time, government needs to have these kind of airlines also, to basically ensure that your citizens are coming back to the respective places. So that is one way of looking at it. But the second way of looking at it is, the government is doling out anything to airlines which are not which are not government owned, as a matter of fact, which are one too many, as a matter of fact. So once you come to them, I think airlines will need that hand holding from the government, for sure, in my opinion. Um, Whether it comes down, at whatever level they do it, at whatever in whatever balance of payments they have to take care of. Fuel is already, I think, at the lowest now. They cannot go lower than this. Maybe if it continues for another while, the oil companies will have to shell out money to tell people, please buy oil. We'll give you some money also along with that. I hope that situation doesn't come in. But then, oil being the lowest, airline, it's a major cost by airline when they're flying. Fuel is one of the major costs. But to come back to the skies, to come back to the flying days, they still have to maintain their aircraft. They still have to give salary to the staff, which was as it is over. Like, all airlines were overstocked, as far as Indian context is concerned, because the thumb rule normally is, for every three passengers there's one employee, but I think in India we have, for every one passenger we have three employees. So it has to change, in my opinion, because the more and more now post this crisis, the human touch will have to be a minimal. So when human touch will have to be minimal, you will not like to give your boarding card to anybody to check that boarding card. You would like to give that boarding card to yourself. You would not like to give your phone to anybody. You would not like frisking to be done by anybody. So it has to be more mechanical rather than personal, in my opinion, because that fear will be with many, and especially when you're going, you're standing in the queue, somebody touches you. I have seen that untouchability kind of stuff coming back again, because I have a small uh, driveway, and next to the driveway at my home, there is this path which goes towards the market. So every now and then there are few people from our colony who use that path, because there's a gate right behind my door. So even if I go close to them, they tell me, okay, stay at a distance. So that is going to be the norm now. So if that is the norm, then obviously we'll have to cut down on on lot many employees. As a matter of fact, I have learned myself. My staff has been working from home last 20-21 days, and every now and then we have a meeting, either over Skype or some other media we use.
Yeah.
But coming from government, I really don't see much being doled out in terms of, I would say, deferment of interest. They're calling it
Okay.
a moratorium. They're calling it
Yeah.
a moratorium. The deferment of interest has to be, in my opinion, that is what will take a lot of burden away from everybody, as a matter of fact, be it airline, be it tourism bodies, be it tourism organizations, be it travel agencies, anybody for that matter. And normally, one knows that these kind of dole out, when it happens, it is only for the favored few, not for anybody and everybody. Uh, I don't know what the logistics or how they will work it out, but sooner or later they will have to work it out, because otherwise, I can't even get you the figures, because
Yeah.
it'll be absolutely unimaginable, unmanageable also at the same time. Uh, People are talking about 5 million, 10 million, 20 million. I would say it's not about one person going because of unemployment, one person suffering. It is not one person suffering, it is the whole family which suffers because of one person. So, be it his wife, be it his kids, be it his
Yeah.
dependent parents, or somebody else, extended families. So one has to be really, uh, I can't even put it in right words as to how to basically survive is an issue right now. Revival comes much later. I think it is the survival which is most important right now. Revival can be once you're alive and once you're kicking, then revival is not an issue. But if you are without employment will lead to certain other issues, which are depression.
Sure.
You are the salaries will be cut down
Yeah.
to bare minimum levels right now. Post this, I don't know what those levels will be, but
Hmm.
uh, I know for sure. Not that I'm demeaning anybody by saying so, but there were certain salaries which are really, really unrealistic at that point, at certain time. So now, basically, just to keep you in a light mood, I used like I have not been shaving. I used my aftershave. I used my aftershave today after almost 20 days. So my wife was telling me you were smelling good. I said, yeah, I was feeling a little better today, so I thought I'll use my aftershave. So one has not used his aftershave. I have not taken out my wallet from the last 20 days. One has to see post this as to what your basic requirements are and how you need to go forward with that. So I there are certain there's a flip side to it when people say that once the crisis is over, people will start working the same way, the rat race will continue.
It won't happen.
But I think it not happen, because
No.
the stretch has been too long.
Yeah.
It's been 21 days already. I think we are looking at another extension of 14
Yeah.
days. And as per the Indian mindset goes, and I'm a little spiritually inclined also. I think if 40 days, in 40 days, if you start getting into a habit, it becomes a habit thereafter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one has to realize this and move forward with
Sure.
like empathy for others also. And I really can't answer your question as to what government should be doing, because government normally, whatever the
No, fair enough.
advisors are and whatever these people are, uh, it's very. I feel they're very unreal, and they are not empathy and sympathy somehow doesn't come onto them. They are more crude in nature, and somehow I feel at times these decisions are more political than towards doing any betterment. So
Right.
I would not like to comment on the government part of it, but then I'm sure anybody and everybody will need hand holding by somebody or the other, and as many as you can going forward will make this world a better place.
Right. Sanjay Datta, thanks for the perspective on where exactly the aviation industry is currently. We know it's grounded and where the path forward is. Thanks again so much.
On a leaving note, I'll say two things, which I have read this, and I normally tell everybody: fear has two meanings. So don't fear it. Fear has two meanings, which is forget everything and run. That is one meaning of fear, and the other meaning is uh, face everything and rise. And that is what we human beings are for. So it's better to face it and rise against a challenge than to run away from it. So no battle is won when you run away from it. The battles can only be won when you face it and rise against them. So thank you very much, Amitabh. God bless you. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Stay safe, sir. Thank you so much.